You are listening to another Always Moto production. The Always Moto podcast with your host, David Hogan. We talk moto events from around the world. All the injuries, all the training ins and outs, the bikes, parts and gear inspections. The results, we interview your favourite riders. It's the Always Moto podcast. We occasionally have some coarse language and the odd stuff up along the way. If you don't like it or you don't agree with us, turn it off right now.
I'd like to remind you that he is not a doctor.
That's right, Moto fans. I'm not a doctor, but I am a physiotherapist, and this is episode 88 of the Always Moto podcast, proudly brought to you by Liat Moto Australia. As always, I'm your host, David Hogan. This is the Always Moto podcast. We are not, yes, you heard that right, we are not in the depths of the clinic throwing strapping tape anywhere it will stick today. Today, we are back in the pits again at Marvel Stadium, this time World Supercross. We're getting some post-race interviews from the riders that, yes, you definitely wanted to hear from these guys, and there is probably a couple that you maybe didn't want to hear from. But they were standing still, so I got the microphone out, we shoved it in their face, and we made them talk. So that's where we're up to. This is what this show is all about, post-race interviews. But hey, Moto fans, this episode is brought to you by Liat Moto Australia, the ultimate gear and protection solution for riders seeking top-notch safety and style. From head to toe, Liat Moto has you covered with innovative helmets, goggles, body armor, and more. Liat Moto Australia has cutting-edge technology that pushes boundaries in rider safety. Don't compromise on your safety and comfort. Choose Liat to stay safe and embrace the thrill. Head over to liat.com.au and gear up for your next ride. Now, don't forget to Competitive Edge Performance. Are you looking to take your performance to the next level? Competitive Edge Performance is the go-to provider of strength and conditioning programs, sports nutrition, and on-bike coaching schools for athletes of all levels. Whether you're just starting out or a seasoned pro, they've got you covered, offering in-person sessions and top-notch online programs that are accessible anywhere, anytime through their awesome training app. Competitive Edge Performance believes everyone deserves access to the best training, and they have over 10 years of industry experience, so their coaches know what it takes to succeed. Join Competitive Edge Performance today. Always Moto podcast listeners can get 50% off. Yes, that's 50% off your first month of training on their app using the code CompEdgeCoach. That's CompEdgeCoach, all in capital letters. And don't forget Slantboard Guy Endurance Recovery Boots. Both of these are training-related products. They might go hand-in-hand with Competitive Edge Performance there, but Slantboard Guy helps you do those squats and get those knees over toes and improve that leg strength. And Endurance Recovery Boots make sure that you are recovered for that next session when you want to use the Slantboard again. Both of these companies are offering discounts to Always Moto podcast listeners. You just need to use the code ALWAYSMOTO in lowercase at checkout to save. Tech 167 3D printing. Do you need something cool for your bike? They can print it up and make it there pretty much on the spot. They're very good at this product, designing and printing out things that are really cool for your bike, customizing them, all that sort of stuff. Check them out. Let them know you listen to the Always Moto podcast and they'll get you a discount as well. As always, I still need your support to get us to our next races in 2024. Hopefully we can do something in the US again. We have our merch available to help the show get through to these more races and more in-person things so we can bring more content to you. We have our Always Moto t-shirts. They are available now. T-shirts are $25 plus postage and handling. So show your support of the podcast and get a t-shirt to rock at your next race. Email us at info@alwaysmoto.com. Put t-shirt order in the subject line and send the size through, and we'll be in touch regarding payment via PayPal and let you know of the delivery date. But if you want to show some support to the show, but you don't want a t-shirt, like I said before in most of these podcasts, maybe you don't need to wear a shirt. Maybe you are that sexy. Maybe those pecs are just popping from all that training with Competitive Edge Performance. If they are and you don't want a t-shirt, that's fine. But you can still help support the show. Send us a donation to the Always Moto PayPal account. Now, there are some special announcements here. There are deals going on everywhere in the world at the moment because of Black Friday, but no more than the Black Week with Polar Australia. They have a massive sale going on at the moment. They have deals on just about every product on their website. It's the time to upgrade if you need to update your Polar device. Maybe you just want to get a new chest strap or a bike mount. now is the time. They have some sensational deals going on. You have until December 3rd to get a deal at Polar Australia, so go and check that out. To find all of these supporters, follow the links in the show notes or in our bio on our social pages. But let's get to these post-race interviews from World Supercross in Marvel Stadium in Melbourne, Australia.
All right, round 3, World Supercross, Melbourne, the finale. We're here with CDR Yamaha fill-in rider Robbie Wageman. Robbie, not a great night, but it was okay.
Yeah, not a great night, but it was decent. Could have gone a little better, but not terrible. So, I just can't thank the whole CDR Yamaha team enough for letting me fill in and race for them for the last 2 rounds of this World Supercross. So, I had a great time, and wish I could have done a little better for them, but you know what? It's dirt bikes, it's the way it goes sometimes, so just been enjoying it.
These World Supercross rounds, being the short 3 races, it provides a bit of chaos, but it also throws some interesting results in at times. Do you like the format? Do you not like the format? What would you prefer to see if you don't like it?
I like the format. It's a very, very, very hectic 6 laps or 8 laps, whatever we do. Very intense. The whole starting on the same gate, all 3 main events is a little rough, like for the 3rd one, but hey, it's the cards we're dealt with, and we got to execute. And the 3rd race, I just didn't execute the start very well. Came out kind of far back, and just tried to ride it in, but I don't even know what place I got, but it wasn't great.
So where to from now? Like, obviously this is the end of the season from the racing side of things, but you're probably heading back into getting prepared for 2024 AMA side of things. You get any break, or just straight into it when you get back on the ground in America?
Yeah, I fly out tomorrow morning, going straight back to the States, and then next weekend I'm doing an arena cross up in Idaho. So, kind of full pinned right now.
no rest at all, mate.
Yeah, I go do the arena cross, and then come home, get the new bike, do a little testing on that. I think that gives us about exactly a month till round 1. So, yeah, we're pretty much pinned.
And what are we riding again in this season coming up for 24?
I'll be on Team Solitaire Yamaha back in the States, so yeah, we'll get the new bike, do some testing, and this World Supercross stuff really helped me get some gate drops, some off-season racing, so happy to be here, and I hope I get the opportunity to come back in the future.
I was going to just ask that, has you had that conversation about I'm available for next year at all with Craig or anything?
Yeah, a little bit here and there. I mean, I would have liked to, do a little better for him, but it's kind of been we've talked about it with him, so, and I think with a little more preparation and stuff for next year, like if I were to come back and, maybe like ride the bike a little bit. I never ridden the bike. I've only raced it, so that's a little difficult, but you gotta get used to it quick, so tried my hardest and gave it all I had, but, just trying to have fun.
The fill-in ride's always tough, but look, you did a reasonable job. Hopefully you can see you back here next year, and good luck in 24.
Absolutely. Thank you very much.
Appreciate it. Cool. All right, round 3, the final for World Supercross in Melbourne. We're here with Club MX Luke Neese. Luke, 3-race format. The first one, I think I saw you in the middle of the track at the start of the race. The second one, I think I saw you crash. The third one was maybe better than those 2, but not the best night all round.
Nah, definitely didn't go the way I had planned or hoped. Best way to describe it is a shit show night. Nobody's fault, just not the best luck, and had some brake issues basically in all 3 of them. My rear brake wasn't working that well. Or basically just go away, so it's like front brake only out there for me, but couldn't really figure out what was going on. We changed brake pads, changed fluid, just couldn't figure anything out. So last moto, basically just front brake only motos. First 2 motos, I thought I had the whole shot, and then had the...
Got a nice bump.
Yeah, got bumped pretty good. So, had a nice little off-track experience, and then ended up falling in that one, or did like a 360. Second one, I set like 3rd turn. I literally had no brakes, and I stomped on them and stalled it. Nothing I can do, just kind of move on from here and get ready for Supercross this year. So
what's the plans there? Are we having a week off or anything, or are we straight into it when we get back on the ground?
Actually, I got a bike waiting for me at home. I gotta go put some suspension on it, and hopefully start back riding. Probably end of the week. I'll probably take the beginning off, get back on schedule.
Jet lag?
Yeah, the jet lag. Yeah, so. But other than that, I mean, we're right back to it. Boot camp starts, so we got to get started with it.
And are we able to say who we're riding with and everything at this point or not?
Yeah, I'll be privateer again.
Okay, nice.
Club's going to help me out with a little bit of stuff, and then I got my old title sponsor back, RRG, great military company. So, we'll be on Yamahas and have a little bit bigger of a setup this year, so it should be really good.
East Coast?
Yeah, 250 East Coast.
Yeah, nice. So you've got a bit of time to get ready and everything, and get over that jet lag.
Yeah, no, for sure, definitely.
Well, look, appreciate it. Well, hopefully we see you again in Australia or in the world stuff next year. But yeah, nice to have you out here, and thanks for your time.
Yeah, thank you, man.
Appreciate it. All right, round 3, World Supercross Melbourne, the final. Colt Thompson, Club MX Yamaha. We've had a really good weekend, mate. Second overall tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a good weekend in total. I had a lot of racing ahead of me and just made sure I stayed on 2 wheels, put myself in good positions, and that's what we did this weekend. Just made sure that we were up front when it counted, and got a couple of heat wins tonight and last night, and then a third in the main last night and second overall tonight. So to me, that's a big accomplishment. I've had less than 2 hours on the club bike, and able to jump on it and just gel with it right away. And then obviously with Serco, I really wanted to go out with the win, but I had my hands full last night. So all in all, it was a good year. Third in the championship in Australia, and then obviously this. I missed the first round, but able to get a podium here and do something.
It's been a solid finish. It's sort of built along, and I feel that's probably come along from, you had that little injury point there, the fitness is starting to kick back in. Everything's just been clicking now, and the laps tonight, honestly, they look really easy for you.
Yeah, just smooth laps for me tonight. I agree with being off. I was off the bike for I think just shy of 12 weeks, and
It's a while.
Yeah, and when I did come back, I had no strength. I was kind of debating if I wanted to come back to racing, to be honest with you. I'd actually kind of weighed it out, and I'm like, I am getting older. Is it something I want to do? And obviously, my back got better with time. My mind got better with time, and I started thinking, all right, I need to go back racing. And I'm glad I did, because, we're here in, man, you live for moments like this. It goes by in a blink. Tomorrow, it's a new day, and you'll be on to the next journey. But right now, I'm going to soak this moment in. I'm going to soak this weekend in. And like I say, coming back to Australia was a no-brainer for me. Serco is like family. They asked me if I would be interested. I didn't hesitate. I will say I came in unprepared, but again, I was determined to figure it out, and we got better as the series went on. Unfortunately, second round I struggled, but short series you need to be on every weekend, and I wasn't, and that's what cost us in having to run at a better position in the championship and better races overall.
Yeah, look, it's amazing when you say that bit about, you're considering not going to be coming back at all. It's funny how, those injuries, the bigger injuries, can sort of give you in that set mindset, but then a little kick here, a little step there, some strength in the gym or a cycle, and you feel better, and it slowly turns around, and obviously it just worked its way back to where you feel like normal again.
Yeah, absolutely. I think when I first had the injury, it was right before I was supposed to race. And
because that was meant to miss the first round, wasn't it?
Yeah, correct. So when I did initially get the injury and I got the MRI, and you're kind of what I was feeling, and then with the MRI with having all these disc problems and having nerve issue, and the nerve issue was not just in my back; it was all the way down my leg into my foot, and I said mentally it was eating me. Like injuries in the past, you get better with time. This was getting worse with time. This was getting worse and worse to the point where I was like, my body will never be the same. I'll never be able to seat balance or do the things that I want to do on a bike. And I've had to adjust a bit. I don't know if you see, but even tonight, I won't seat balance is right out of the corner like I used to.
I feel like there's a couple of rhythms you might not have done, and maybe that explains it.
And it wasn't so much that, but it's like you think about it still. And you never want to go back to that place, man. When you're hurting and you're not getting better day in and day out, that wears on you mentally. So,
look, you've done really well. You should be really happy with where you are. Plans for 24, seeing as we're basically at the end of the season now. What's happening for you beginning of next year?
So I'll go right back to the U.S. and get right back to work. I said this is actually my slow time because in the next 3-4 weeks I'll be Florida, Carolina, California, back to Carolina, and then back out to Anaheim 1. So pretty much right now is a good warm-up before the real work begins, sort of thing. And I felt like this series, and obviously the Australian series, has helped me with gate drops, helped me with confidence, and obviously just seeing the pace, being flat out. So good.
Do we have a plan to be back here in Australia at all, or not too early for that?
I hope so. I really hope so. I think, I hope that, Serco gets the itch and we come back with, something, or, honestly, like, they're family to me, and if they would ever put something back together,
You'd say yes.
I would say yes in a heartbeat. I love the team, and I love Gavin and the guys, and that's what, they got me the opportunity to begin with. I'll forever be grateful. They took care of me year one, and even this year, spending some time with Gavin and Teasy and Johnny, and it's family. I call them up on a daily basis when I'm back home now. So that's pretty unique, and I think if they had another run at it, or they gave me an opportunity, I would say yes in a heartbeat.
That's awesome to hear. Well, look, Cole, well done tonight. Thank you for your time, and hopefully we see some more of you in the near future.
Thank you.
All right, another one from round 3 of the World Supercross in Melbourne. We've got the Club MX fill-in rider, Rhys Budd. Rhys, I think it was worth doing. Reasonable first moto, second moto, third moto, yeah, again, good. Hopefully what we talked about during the week about turning some heads, maybe you did.
Yeah, I think so. I believe I proved myself wrong as well. I surprised myself a little bit. So overall, I'm super happy that I got this opportunity. I had 2 days riding a 450 before this weekend, so I've had zero experience and my first ever 450 race. So to go out there Moto 1 and stick it in the top 10, it's pretty surreal. So like I said, I surprised myself, and my goal tonight was to just do 3 consistent motos, stay on 2 wheels, hit my marks, and pretty much did that all night. The second one was a little bit behind, but there was a big group right in front of me. I was like right there, but unfortunately I was just on the back end of that little group. So, another half decent start in Moto 3, and brought it home in 14th place with the 12 lapper. So overall, a really positive night, and it's a good one to finish the year.
I feel like tonight versus last night on the 250, I feel like you're better tonight on the 450, even though you, like you said, you haven't ridden it very much. A whole new team, fill-in deal. I feel like you actually look better, maybe even in more control.
Yeah, I believe that as well. I just think there was zero pressure, zero expectations. So my goal was to just go out there and have fun. So I wish I had that approach last night as well, because I know I have what it takes to do really well, but I just put a lot of pressure on myself to go and do that. So tonight there was zero pressure. I just went out, rode a dirt bike, and had an absolute ball.
That's what you should be doing every time. You've got to figure out how to do that again then.
Yeah, that's it. So that's what I'm going to work on throughout the off-season, into the pre-season, and into next year. So that's my goal. I just got to bring this same mindset into that, and I know it's going to be a good year.
So what's the plans here for the next few weeks? We're having a bit of a break, resting from bikes, and then getting back into it in like late January or something, or what are we doing?
Yeah, I'm still a bit unsure. I'm definitely going to do a little bit of riding within the next few weeks. How much, I'm not too sure yet. Obviously, there's some exciting things coming up that I'll be able to announce hopefully in a couple of weeks' time. So, it's going to be a good year, that's for sure.
That's good. Well, hopefully we can hear about this very soon, and hopefully a solid year in 2024.
Yeah, thank you. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. All right, another round 3 World Supercross Melbourne interview. We're here with Pipes Motorsport Group's Cullin Park. Cullin, we finally got 3 motos in a row with reasonable results. You've been doing 2 good ones and a bad one. Tonight we finally got it, but we just missed the podium overall.
Yeah, that part's frustrating. I want to be happy with tonight, and unfortunately I'm still just like kind of
a little disappointed.
Yes, it's like because you're like so close to the podium, But 4.54 for 4th overall. By far my best result of the season. I came off 2/10 because, like you said, I'd have 2 good motos and a crash in the first turn. So honestly, just happy to get 3 good motos under my belt tonight. And it was nice to finally ride my RM Army on the on like a kind of legit Supercross track.
I was going to say real track.
Yeah, because I just haven't even been able to like get like a good feel for it. And today, honestly, I was so comfy. We made a little change at the bike after the first practice, and from then on, I'm like, dude, I like this thing, and it showed my riding. Had a pretty good night. A couple mistakes, but overall, definitely some improvements compared to the first 2 races, so definitely happy with that. I've been working hard and I've had no result to show for it, so at least tonight I have somewhat of one to show for.
Is it a bit disappointing that you feel like you've found the bike being comfortable now and that's the end of that for this season for Suzuki?
Yeah, 100%. But it's not even that it was the bike being uncomfortable. I think it was me just being uncomfortable on the really tight tracks. Obviously, Abu Dhabi was extremely tight, and I'm sure everyone had the same problem that I did. So today, just getting on a more real style Supercross track where I can really open it up. The corners are real bowl corners. Oh, just more in my element. So yeah, it was a lot of fun out there today.
Now, speaking about in your element, you were out of your element. You said to us before the weekend that you had never hit a ramp before, and how was that experience?
Yeah, that was, man, I was terrified because then I went and watched the first practices of the WSX series, and a lot of guys were casing it, and I'm like sweating up there, like, oh my gosh, I've never hit a freestyle ramp before, didn't know what to do, and it's like a pretty big jump. But yeah, first time I hit it, I made sure to OJ that thing. I did not want to case it. And then honestly, it's so sick hitting each lap because it's the same thing every time. You don't have to worry about like a different kicker or something like that. But besides the finish line, the track dried out a lot. Or I don't even know.
From last night to tonight, it was different.
I don't know if I want to say dried out, but it was a lot slicker today. It was a wet slick, and then it turned into like a dry slick.
Yeah.
Some moisture must have came up in it. Like before the whoops was like ice because we obviously started to go to the inside, and trying to skim the whoops from the insides was a little tough. But yeah, overall though, the track was a lot of fun, much better than the first 2 races, and yeah, just happy to get 3 good motos.
Yeah, nice. So 2024. What are we back home in a day or 2, straight into training?
Yeah, probably. I mean, I'll get back home Monday night. I need to get back to it because East Coast is coming up quick. But man, I'll be honest, like when I got to Australia, I hate just saying jet lag because everyone likes to use it, but man, it hit me like a train when I got here. And even this morning, like I was pretty tired, but it's my best riding, so maybe I just need to show up tired each weekend.
Just keep it going like that. Just stay up late and go for it.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe that's what works for me.
Well, look, awesome to see you in Australia in the World Supercross Series this year. Hopefully we see you back next year, but we'll see what happens. And good result. Well done. Thanks for your time.
Yeah, thank you very much, and thank you for taking the time with me.
Easy. All right, round 3, World Supercross Melbourne. The final round here, Rick Ware Racing's Henry Miller. Henry, what was tonight?
A disaster.
I thought we just had a quick chat beforehand, and I thought that's where we'd lead to, but I'll just start there. It wasn't great. You're obviously in the second half of the night, like just having a bit of a shit show. But you're here riding a dirt bike in another country. Surely there's some positives to that.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, it was a disaster, I think, for our whole team. Everyone struggled tonight. It's kind of weird. Last year we came here and we did pretty good. We all love the track. Just things didn't play out for us. But yeah, we're here. We're racing dirt bikes. We're all safe. We're all flying home. You can't be more grateful for that. You travel the world, race dirt bikes, and you just get to live your best life. So I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful for Rick giving me this opportunity, Rick and Dave. Without them, I'd be at home, just preparing for 24 Supercross in the States, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I really greatly appreciate the opportunity that they have presented me with again for the second year.
Yeah, no, that part's really cool to be actually racing and learning something maybe in all this too, but getting paid to do something you love. So that's an awesome aspect of it. So 2024, what are the plans for you, mate?
So as of right now, my plans are I'll be on the Tyloob Honda East Coast Supercross as last year.
Yep.
We're planning to go outdoors. They're planning to help me through the outdoor series. I'll be on a 450, but they are planning to get involved and kind of hopefully the semi or the sprinter or something's going to the races, so I don't have to make the drive to every race myself. But the goal is to be on that 450 first round outdoors, hit them all, and get into the SMX points in the 450 class.
Is this something, like you mentioned about the team trying to do this now, with the change to the SMX combining this for the AMA, is this making the teams actually look at the outdoors and try to be a part of the whole thing for the whole year round, or do you just feel that it's time, they've got sponsors and they can actually do it?
So for some of the guys that do really good in Supercross, they don't even have to line up outdoors.
No, true.
They can score enough points in Supercross and just show up SMX, make their money, and go home. Yep. For us smaller guys, I think it helps. Us privateers that we go to Supercross and in the 450 class, like, yeah, we can squeak into the main and we're, we're back there, but you don't get that many points. But when we go outdoors and they pay points per moto, and we can be anywhere from 10th to 20th, you know, we could score, you know, 30 points on a weekend, versus in Supercross in the 450 class, you go and score 4 points. So you can make up so much just in 11 rounds that you almost make those guys that just race Supercross think like they have to go outdoors and score points so they don't have to do the LCQs.
Yeah, I feel like there's just been like everyone watched it this first year, and then there's just this shift, like we've all got to go to outdoors all of a sudden.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you've seen a couple dudes, like you've seen Colt. He went to go try race a couple. Yeah, he had some issues with some bike stuff and crashes and stuff like that. But he knew, like, hey, like I got to go to try to score my points because things are getting tight. So I think it's making it better over there in the States. I also think World Supercross has made them step up in the States a little bit as far as purse-wise. I mean, the Supercross and outdoor purse didn't really change. But the SMX purse is there now. So we have something else that we can look forward to. So it's a really cool opportunity, and I think it's helped with the sport.
Yeah, nice. You touched on something about that World Supercross pushing the AMA along. As much as nobody probably wants to admit it, I really feel that that's happening on some level.
Yeah, for sure. You know, the whole World Supercross thing was a struggle this year for them. You know, they had some things that happened, and we had some canceled rounds. So even though that happened, they're still pushing MX Sports and Feld to be better. I mean, look, they came together to create one series at the end. No one ever thought that would happen. Yeah. So, and that didn't happen until WSX became a thing. So it's definitely helping.
So what about WSX for next year? Is there any talk for you at this stage about doing it again? Do you want to do it again?
I would definitely be interested in doing it again. I've heard some talk about them cutting back, no 250s, 2 riders, 450 class only. Don't know what that's all about. So it's just going to kind of plan or go by how they plan it out next year. You know, if they cut back half the riders, half the bikes, you know. If they do that, then I probably won't end up being able to do it. I had a couple offers to come to Australian Supercross.
I was wondering if somebody might get something like that, because it's an enticing thing to then pair it all up.
Yeah, so I had a couple offers to come do the 3 rounds. Unfortunately, the WSX thing with us racing nights back-to-back, the World Supercross team, they shut that down real quick, and it just wasn't an option. So if I can't be here for World Supercross, my plan is to try to be here for Australian Supercross.
Well, you know they're trying to do 5 rounds for Australian Supercross next year, so it might be a nice lead into 2025 AMA for you.
100%. You know, I came down here in 19 as a fill-in guy for the Raceline KTM team.
Yep.
I ended up getting hurt at the last round, unfortunately, but I got to go and race Wollongong, and then we went to New Zealand, and then we came here for those 3 rounds, and they had some before I got here, but that 5 rounds would be awesome, you know, a little preseason kickoff. I do believe when we come here and race World Supercross, the racing is aggressive and tight, and it helps when I go home. I race more aggressive, and I race our racers who race definitely more clean, and I'll race them aggressive, like more aggressive than I have in the past.
Well, see, you're learning something. Maybe it wasn't as bad of a night as you think. So we're turning it into a positive.
Yeah, you always got to take the positives from the negatives, and it definitely helps when I go home. It's a learning experience, you know. Take the good from the bad and just keep on rolling.
Well, look, hopefully we do see you next year, whether it's World Supercross or Australian Supercross, but hopefully we see you back in Australia sometime soon.
Yeah, appreciate it, guys.
Thank you. All right, round 3 in Melbourne, World Supercross. We're here with Colt Nichols, Rick Ware Racing. Colt, I don't know what the hell you got in the first 2, but that last one, where did that come from?
I have no idea either on the first 2. The third one's where I wanted to be the whole time and felt like where I should have been this whole series, but the whole day can snowball really quick in this series, and the way the tracks are built, and you know, a lot of 90s, and it's tough to make up time. It's tough to pass. You know, we've had smaller stadiums, smaller tracks. They just build them a lot different than the U.S., so it takes some time to get used to it. But overall, I mean, if you get a bad qualifying time, you know, bad heat race, and you're stuck outside on the gate, it snowballs really quickly. So it was just tough, man. I would get stuck back in the back, and needed to be more aggressive, needed to make better passes and get around guys and try and move forward. And I just felt like I got a little too stuck, in the first two main events and really this whole series. But that last one was the easiest race I've had the whole time, So it's frustrating in a sense, but also rewarding knowing that that's where I feel like I should have been the whole time battling for this championship and up there running with Ken and Joey and all these guys. So rewarding, but also really frustrating at the same time.
Does it give value to that comment where everybody goes, it's just the start? Like, is it as simple as a start in that case? Because that's what it looked like tonight for that last race.
I mean, for me, that's certainly what it was. I mean, which is insane. I mean, that it can make that big of a difference. Like I said, I have no idea what place I got those first two main events. Yeah, it was horrible.
But you were.
No, it was horrible. And I mean, it was almost laughable because the first main event, I think me and Kyle Chisholm passed each other maybe 5 or 6 times. Like, it was insane.
Well, Chiz did the similar. He was like up there at the last one too, but not as good as yourself. But yeah, he had 2 bad ones. So yeah, you like at the back at the beginning, and then the last one you suppose up the front. Like,
yeah, I mean it was insane, but it's all just track position. I mean that was pretty clear, for me. The first one though, me and Chiz going back and forth, and I jumped the finish, and I'm like, well, Chiz is on the inside, he's gonna pass me again, for like the 5th time. So it's almost kind of funny, but. It's all racing, it's the same for everybody. It's not like I had different shoes than anybody else. I just needed to be a lot better than what I was at making passes, getting up front, being more assertive off the gate, and just putting myself in a better spot. And I felt like I didn't do that really this whole series. So it was a frustrating series. It tested me quite a bit. But overall, I mean, to end it that way, I'm pretty happy.
Yeah, nice. Now, 2024. I'm going to ask you for some tips because I'm actually going to ride a beta here as a media test in about a week and a half. So how is the beta for you?
I honestly love it. It's been a really good transition. Surprisingly, a lot better than I anticipated. Not thinking it was going to be bad in the first place, but you just don't know what to expect. Getting on it, hopping into Supercross, I mean, there's zero data at all. We have zero Supercross data. We don't even know where to set the sag, where to do anything. We're all just going off a feel. And it's kind of cool. A lot of teams have ways, and they're kind of stuck in their ways where they want the bike, how they want the bike, and this is just an open book. So it's good. Once we get to the racing, it might get a little more difficult. We don't have notes to go back on and things like that. But overall, man, chassis-wise, I love the way the chassis feels. We're working on getting a little more horses underneath it, and I'm really happy with where we are this early, for sure.
With the beta, obviously it's not a mainstream brand at this point, right?
Yep.
Parts-wise, the additional like accessories, clamps, options for that. I gather there's not heaps of that. Have you had to start with literally stock and then just go, I want to do this, and they're trying to go and build it, or how's that work for you?
Yeah, somewhat. We've got lucky and got a handful of parts, a handful of things to try and test. Mainly, at this level, it's mainly fork and shock.
Internal valving.
Yeah, I mean, all day. But we have really good external parts. We really haven't done an insane amount of changing the bike, really. Where it was, like Carlin Gardner, our team manager, and the notes and stuff we have from the MXGP side we were using. We were able to use some of the parts from those guys, what they had, and Carlin did a bunch of testing before just to get like somewhat of a base, and that's kind of what we went off of. And like I said, we've tested a lot of suspension stuff, some clamp stuff, some things like that, but we haven't done an insane amount yet. I really haven't got to ride it as much as I've wanted. But where we are now, I do feel we're in a good spot. It's kind of one thing at a time. Each day, it's an improvement. So I'm happy. I mean, it's like I said, I wish I had more seat time on it, but it is what it is. We got the whole month of December to get ready for A1. I'm really happy about that. I don't have to bounce back and forth between a Cowie and a Beta anymore. I can just be on one bike.
That would be pleasant.
I'm very happy to do that. So it's been kind of an insane year. Starting on the Honda, riding the Cowie, now I've been on the Beta. So I just want to be stuck on something and start to build and get a relationship with a bike and try and learn it as quick as I can.
So positively looking forward to 2024, I gather.
Very much so, yeah. Yeah, it's going to be a good season, man. It'll be exciting. We'll have our highs and lows, and I mean, that's evident,
But that's racing anyway.
That's racing anyway, and the team's aware of that too. Like we're not trying to shoot for the stars, but we also, I feel like me and Vinny are good riders, and we have a lot of potential, and I feel like the bike has a lot of potential itself. So, we'll see. One thing at a time, one weekend at a time. We got our goals where we feel like we need to be, and by the end of the season, I really hope we're in a spot where we can surprise a lot of people with it.
Yeah, nice. Well, look, thank you for making the trip down to Australia for World Supercross, and hopefully we see you down here at some point again soon.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you. All right, round 3, Melbourne World Supercross. We're with the fill-in rider, Dylan Wills. Dylan, you had an interesting night, mate.
Yeah, for sure. got the chance to try and make a move and tried to make it, and it backfired on me, but fuck, it was fun.
Mate, you got a good start in that heat race, and then you just ran it in there. And look, we got the sequence. We'll put it up later, but why not? You're there. Make the most of the moment, right?
That's it, man. I mean, and to be honest with you, he was super cool about it. We just spoke before, and he was fine. I mean, he has to be fine, right? Because he's done it to 1,000 people.
Yeah, but both of you, neither of you really took the leg out or anything like that. You weren't T-boning.
No.
You were running a block and just running the guy high.
Yeah, for sure. I mean,
you got worse off, bud.
For sure. I mean, he didn't really hit me, to be fair. I think he probably knows that people would have jumped out of the stands and bashed him if he had actually hit me hard. But he just ran me wide, and I hit the tough block, went over the berm. It is what it is, but it was fun, man. It was fun. I've never had a standing ovation riding back into the pit area after a race where I got last. So it was cool. It was cool.
It's got to be a nice highlight for you over the whole weekend. Just to be a part of it, two, to then have that happen. So yeah, nice work. The rest of the night, look, you were up there at times, and you sort of had one motor. You were off at the back, weren't you? Like you had a crash or something, I think.
Yeah, we just had an interesting first turn going on, but that's what I say about the whole situation. Kind of ruined my night because I had last gate pick, but yeah, it is what it is. You just take it. But
where did you lose the rear guard? I saw that in one of the motors.
Oh man, me and Moranz had a moment, and we hit in the air, and it snapped my guard off, I think. But yeah, it was like I actually went and apologised to him because I went to down the start straight backwards right, and I went double, and he was on my inside, and I gripped up and shot across, and I accidentally hit him.
Yep.
And he went down, and I was like, fuck. I felt really bad about it, but he was all good. I went and saw him, and he was cool. It was just racing, but yeah, I didn't go down I don't think I went down in any of them, but it was, it's just so hard.
Maybe it was that one that I saw you at the back with the guard missing and assumed you went down, but yeah, so no, look, interesting night. So what are we doing next year? Are we coming back and doing more Supercross, or what are you doing?
Supercross, I reckon for sure, but motocross, no, I don't think so.
It's not part of the plan anymore?
No, not really. I just want to have fun, man, and that's not really that fun racing motocross, so we'll see. Things might change. I really don't know, but got some offers to do some overseas races and things like that, and then
well, that's cool.
Yeah, so I want to go and I got the chance to travel the world and race a dirt bike, and I want to take those opportunities before I get too old in there, and they're not there anymore.
Yeah, nice. Well, look, I'm sure Dylan Wills is getting a phone call for a wild card next year because of what happened tonight. So, if nothing else, you've got a moment in time where people are going to remember your name, and a memory for you to, be a part of something cool.
For sure, man. It was heaps of fun, and I'm glad he was a good sport about it. He had to be. He's done it to everyone, so just wish I hit him harder.
Let's finish on that. That's awesome. Well done. We'll see you next year.
Thanks, mate.
All right, round 3, World Supercross Melbourne. Kevin Moranz, Honda Nils. Maybe not a great night results-wise, but we're not here to talk about results. Oh, I just saw the elbows actually too. That's not cool. I did see you on the ground. My notes were from Moto 1, not looking comfy, and then Moto 3 on the ground after the whoops. That was my notes on you for the night.
Yeah, big get off in the second one as well. So, yeah, start off in the first one. It bunches up real tight in those first few corners if you're mid-pack to back of the pack. So while everybody's bunched up, the wild card number is 64. I don't know who. Dylan just he gave me the beans. So then that's fair game. It's racing. He was, but it screwed me up. Obviously, dropped me like 4 or 5 positions. It was just tough to come back. So I was ready to regroup, come back in the second one, and an extra little bit of a situation. I'm not gonna talk about it too much, but long story short, it went Josh Hill. Number 64, what's his name?
Dylan Wills.
Dylan.
He's our Aussie wildcard.
Or no, Dylan, then Josh, then me. Well, right before the mechanics area, as we're passing, that little shenanigan of out wide triple or inside double.
Yeah.
Josh went out to cut him off, and 64 was cut down instead of checking up because I saw Josh go out. So I'm like, oh, they're gonna stuff each other. I went inside to double. I'm straight and I'm doubling, and instead of 64 checking up, he decided to curve Josh and jump straight over into where I was, took my bike out of under me in air.
Oh, no.
So lost the bike and just landed right on my butt.
Is that where the elbows came in? Or
that was where one elbow came in.
Oh,
so
one.
We're getting there. We're getting there.
Okay, all right. Story continues.
And then, yeah, indeed. So that was rough. Obviously, I got cross jumped, so there's nothing I could do. Yep. So got back up, grabbed the bike, and it was all twisted up. So that was a DNF for us, unfortunately. We were just focused on coming back. Okay, let's just get at least one good moto in. Third one, got off to a decent start. Got shoveled around, but then was clicking off good laps, and right at the end of the whoops, absolutely just tucked the front pretty hard. So that's where the other elbow came in. So rough night for me. I mean, I'm just super grateful to be able to do these rounds. I've done all 3 of them. I'm semi-healthy. I'm walking away. It was a bummer because I was sitting 9th in the championship coming in. I really wanted to be top 10 at the end of it.
Yep.
But it is what it is. I'm just super thankful for the opportunity. Giacomo, Christy, the whole team for giving me this opportunity. And I want to come back next year. It's been really cool with the whole Moranz Mafia and a bunch of people coming by, appreciating the vlogs that we continue to produce. I have probably 50 to 100 people every race internationally saying that, and it's even more in America as well. So that's been pretty cool.
The Aussie fans don't get a chance to see you guys very often, so when they do, they're usually appreciative of the fact you're here. So you're probably getting that love at this point.
Yeah, definitely. So it's been pretty cool. Overall, a little bit of a bummer, but hey, it's racing, it's part of it. Again, just super thankful, and then now it's just getting ready for back to the KTM, the full Kevin Moranz racing program. We're gonna have our own team, teamed up with Champion Tool Storage. We're gonna have a full rig, full canopy just for my creative program. So if you want to join the Moranz Mafia, kevinmoranz.com, hit the Join Moranz Mafia tab. Get your front number Let me restart. Get your name on the front fender anywhere from around the world. As long as you're a part of the Patreon, we'll put your name on there. So it's not just secluded to the U.S. Appreciate the fans getting behind the program, and we got to get creative as a privateer to make it happen.
Yeah, no, you're very good at that. We talked about that when we did the podcast interview, but the way you bring people in and support it, it's a different level, and obviously everybody can support Kevin Moranz. But we appreciate you seeing you here in Australia. Hopefully we get to see you here next year. We'll have to wait and see if that works out. But good luck in 2024.
Yeah, thank you very much, and I'm going to do whatever I got to do to get on one of these teams. Hopefully it's Honda Nils as well. But would love to continue racing for World Supercross.
Yeah, awesome. All right, well hopefully we see you next year.
Yep, thank you.